we immigrants have built the greatest nation in the world, coming from everywhere, all over, because you see, nobody owns this world except God. So this is the argument that clergymen are using to tell their membership, you know what? Let us be more open. Immigrants serve a very important role in our society. We should create a safe legal path for them to make their homes here and contribute to this country. And it's going to be a tough fight. I don't think it'll just be, you know, one 4th of July kind of speech that's going to do it. It's going to take some time.
You know, legal immigration is fine. The entire country is all set for it, and we allow a lot of them inside. It's the illegal immigration that people have a problem with. But I say secure the borders, make sure no one can come illegally, and those who are here, yes, there needs to be some kind of a resolution of it. I'm not the expert. I don't really know the answer, but all I know is the current situation. There's a tremendous amount of unemployment, and it is natural and normal for people to feel bad and protective of them and their families.
And so instead of focusing on the fear, I think we need to focus on policies that work for everyone, because just blaming and hating an entire group of people doesn't get us anywhere.
It's the politicians. They need to handle it first before it comes to us. On to our next story, folks. It's right here from Washington, D.C. At the White House, we have Rahm Emanuel, who's the chief of staff for President Obama, and the one thing he always says is, let no crisis go to waste. Take advantage of it. And such a thing arrived for the Indian ambassador. Her name is Ambassador Meera Shankar. External Affairs Ministry and the Overseas Ministry of India, in their wisdom, decided it will be fine to charge $175 for you surrendering your Indian passport. And if you don't have the passport, then there were penalties involved in it. It was as much as $1,250 you have to pay to get a visa to go visit India.
It's ridiculous.
There was. And people demonstrated. And Prime Minister Manmohan Singh definitely heard them, and he reduced it from $175 to $20.
Really?
Yes. But now, here comes the kicker. All of this was happening, and the Ambassador Meera Shankar was silent. The embassy was silent. All they were doing is putting communique on the website. I really thought in crisis is where you find your voice. And this ambassador is extremely good to talk to, but she did not reach out across the country and say, hey, look, guys, we're going to take care of it. Of course, when things like that happen, lawyers come in. So now some public interest lawsuits are being filed because whosoever paid $175, folks, not getting a refund.
Oh.
And the new folks are paying only $20. That is not
So it's
fair.
not retroactive, this new policy.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, people are going to be upset.
By the time this show airs, maybe they'll make it retroactive. It's really not fair. You don't need a public interest lawsuit against them. But if they have that lawsuit, I bet you they will win.
Yeah, I mean, they have a good case to make.
Yeah. But the unfortunate thing is that the embassy did not reach out, which I would have loved to see.
Yeah, especially given that there were so many Indian Americans that were affected by this and were so angry at the charges that the embassy was going to be asking from them. I think just as a good gesture to tell the Indian Americans living here, hey, we understand this caused a lot of problems, we're changing things, you know, a nice communication out to the entire community would have made a difference.
And for the folks who did not understand this controversy, I want to tell you that the Indian government in 1955 came up with the law under the Statute 8, which says if you renounce your citizenship, that you then have to turn around and give your passport. Even though the Statute 9 seemed to suggest that if you take on citizenship of another country, which is a voluntary thing to do when you give up your citizenship, you don't have to do anything. But no, the government decided it was the statute number 8 that is applicable here. So they did not impose it in 1955, but they want you to pay the fine. Many of us, we don't have that passport. Now, one other thing I want to tell you. Embassies, governments, companies, they all need to be user-friendly. They need to make sure they give the customer a good experience. I bet you they lost a lot of tourists to India.
Well, you know, it's very interesting because you raised this issue of taking a crisis and learning from it, and how so much the Indian embassy could have learned from this. You know, it has been amazing to see how all of India could shut down based on this Bharat Bandh, you know, India closed protest because of the rise in fuel prices. You're talking about a real crisis here where both the left political party and the right political party are squeezing the Congress party that are in power to say, this is incredible, we cannot pay these high fuel prices, the inflation is too much, and you can shut down an entire country. And I was thinking about that, I never wake up in the morning here in the U.S. worried about the entire country shutting down. Not just a business or two or one particular industry, but planes, trains, automobiles, schools, businesses, from dawn until dusk, pretty much not functioning.
Holiday.
You know, and it's something that we don't really worry about. And I was thinking, why is that? Why is it that in some countries there can be such nationwide organization and protest, usually around economic issues, as we've been seeing recently in Greece and Spain and India, but we don't really think or worry about that too much here?
Well, that we are lucky, I guess. But at the same time, I want to tell you, there are unions here. They have strikes. For instance, when the Boeing people go on strike or the pilots go on strike, that airline or Boeing, they will lose market share. Their price of the stock will go way down. I mean, they